What are you carrying that needs to go? Good morning, good morning. It is Yolanda, your favorite Hot Mess Express former nurse, now on fire about God. And for whatever reason, here and sharing that, which has been something that I'm still trying to get over, but also trying to be obedient because I've been called in so many seasons of my life to show up and share, whether that was going through nursing burnout, being plant-based, being in an HGAP relationship at one point, starting my own business, all these things. And now, like, you're seeing this new and better improved. And yes, girl, I literally have my Bible out because I don't know who needs to hear this message this morning, but I do like to preface this. I know how weird it can be for people to be like, oh my God, is that girl going off the deep end? I mean, maybe, but why should I be ashamed of something that has touched and impacted my life so hard and in such a very short period of time? And if you don't know kind of a little bit of my testimony, my story that I've been sharing, I just shared that on my YouTube and it's also on the podcast because I wanted to have just one space because I think we're bringing people to him and it's so exciting. And I just, oh God, every day, I just want him to help refine me and keep my vessel clean and open for him. That literally is where we are. So anyway, this is where we're at. But message for my hyper independent girl. I get it. That is, maybe this is a trauma response where you had to grow up a certain way or you didn't want to feel like you were a burden to anyone. This is one of the biggest things, and people have commented the glow that I have. And yes, I did. I fasted for 21 days. Yes, I did eat, but it was a very specific way of eating. But the glow that I feel is I have stopped carrying my burdens. As crazy as that sounds, I have stopped carrying my burdens. What are you that needs to go? A big point of resentment that I've been holding on to was for my father, and I thought that I released it and worked through that. And girl, no, I had not. There's some other things that just gone on in life that I've just been carrying around. And a couple weekends ago, so it was like kind of like right after my fast, I just said, I can't do this anymore, God. I don't want to do this. And I asked him to take it away. And I will tell you, in this last week, just energy has shifted and changed. And this is the beautiful part about fasting, because you don't fast to get this immediate thing. And maybe for some people it's like that, but God is not a genie, but he does want the best for you. All right. So you're allowed to go to him and ask. And for me, it's felt like this shame and going to God, like, I need this, I need that, take this away from me, pull me closer to this. But this is where it becomes so very important to open up one of these, girl. And I had never opened a Bible, had never read a Bible. Girl, get it. If you're like, who is she? I ask myself this every day, but most importantly, I've been asking him, who am I supposed to be? This is for my hyper independent girly, and I want you to understand that God is your father. So specifically, if you haven't had the best relationship with your father, like somebody like me, it has been so comforting being like, God, I can go to you and call you father. Okay. Hello, sir. It's me, your favorite child. We're all his favorites. So it's not about when you start asking for things, God is taking from somebody else. No, that is not how this works. This works as you have your individual relationship with God, and he wants the best for you. He wants to do more than you could ever think or imagine. Matthew chapter 7, verse 7. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you. For everyone who asks, and the one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks, it will be opened. Or which one of you, if his son asks him for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will you give him a serpent? If you then, who are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father, who is in heaven, give good things to those who ask him? All right, so let's like back up, take that for how I personally interpret that. Again, baby Christian, just starting to read the Bible. So ask and it will be given. Now, as somebody that was a woo-woo girly at some point in my life, I do feel like it's been easy for me to get into believing in God because I've always been talking to something that I assumed was bigger. I just wasn't giving it being God, if that makes sense. There is a book that I have. It's by Esther Hicks, and it's called Ask and It Is Given. And that's just the thing, is that a lot of when you start reading the Bible or learning it, or you start even looking at self-help, I feel so much of it is rooted in the Bible. that there are people that have rebranded the Bible in a way and made it like it was their thing, and easily to be like cast upon people that aren't quote believers, because you might not go searching for this stuff, or you might not go looking for, girl, if you're not asking for what you need, how you gonna get it? You might be thinking about the things that you need in your head, and yes, God hears us all the time. Like, he's always around, girl, just like waiting for you to be like, knock, knock, okay? Knocking the door is open. But he wants you to actually come to him, not just be thinking about him. Like, go talk to him. Today, it's nice here in Texas, thankfully, but even wherever you are, you can open a door, you can open a window, you can get in your car, sit in the front seat, go for a drive, go get the new Starbucks iced chai latte, the cherry thing. I just posted a reel about that. It was pretty good, okay? And spend your little $7, but go do it for God. I promise you will not regret it. Let's get back to the task on hand, Yolanda. All right, so ask and it is given to you, seek and you will find. What you go looking for, eventually you are going to find. This could be positive things in our lives. This could be negative things in our lives. If you are in a relationship, and I'm guilty of this, and all you're looking for is how you can poke fingers at your partner about what they are doing versus what they're not doing, guess what? All you're going to be met with is exactly what they're not doing and missing all the amazing things about this person right in front of you. I know all of us at some point are very guilty of this, keeping it 100. All right, and then if we knock, it will be open to you. So again, if you ask, you will receive. If you seek, you're going to find. And then if you knock, knock, knock. So it will be given to you. Is it always going to be given to you the first time you knock? Maybe not. Okay. And so that's where we can get in like, oh, this whole God thing, I don't think it's real, because when you knock, he's like, okay, girl, I got you, but it might not be the door that you want opened. All right. So you have to just remember and believe and trust that he wants to give you the best, but his best, his will, his desire for you, it might look like a door that you haven't knocked on just yet, or a door that maybe even you have to go back and knock on because you closed it and that's when you were in your disobedience. The next thing that he talks about is, or which one of you, if your son asks for bread, will you give him a stone? So what does this mean? As a parent, as God is the father, if we're asking for something, God's not going to be like, here's this crud. That's not the desire. That's not his desire. Although what you are deeming it as might be crud. So God might give you the gift of your dog getting sick, him pulling you towards him, where you finally start talking to him. And then also you going to church on a Sunday, raising your hand, God, I'm ready. And also writing that the weekend before, wild. And then him saying, okay, girl, you ready? Let's go. Okay. Job snatched. It's those things. So it's in these things that we don't always understand, that you have to thank you, Father. Like, I get it. I understand that I'm asking for bread and this is not a stone. This is not you giving me a stone. This is you giving me what I need, even if I don't understand it. Okay. So this is how we have to be. But again, the thing is, and even if you don't have a great parent or parents or any of this stuff, you get to, if you want to, and when you're ready, because I don't come here to be like, you gotta listen to this just the way you gotta be. It's, oh girl, no, let me tell you how much of an unbeliever I was and how I'm getting into it. And I just want to share that with you because maybe you keep an open mind. Like, I personally once kept an open mind over the last like literally 4 to 5 years when this really started popping up for me in a way and being like, not ready. And I said this on a podcast that I released this week, is wrong door, right time. And so what that means is I was knocking on doors and they were not the right doors, but they were the doors that I needed in that time because I was not ready to wrap my mind around this vastness. Okay. Even 6 months ago, when tiptoeing like baby in, going to church, being so moved, couldn't understand that, crying the whole sermon, like what is going on, was still not really ready for that. Understand that your journey gets to be your journey. And also in this journey, if you so choose to, there is a perfect father that just is waiting for you. And I know that that can sound so crazy, and I'm gonna probably keep saying that I know that it sounds crazy. I get where people's resistance can be, and I know where mine is. And so I just want to put myself in somebody else's shoes in that way, that I was there. So I get that. Ending this off in verse 11. If you then, who are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children. So this is, even if you're like an evil parent, if your child asks you for one thing, you're still going to do your best to give it to them. But Father, God, is above all of us. Above all of us. Like, you have to sink into that, and how important your relationship with your creator is above legitimately else. Above your marriage, above your dog, above your partnership, your parents, above all else. And I will say that in this journey, when I started asking God, take the things away from me that are not who I'm supposed to become, do you know what's happened? I've become and it took a little bit. This did not happen right out of the fast, because what I noticed in the fast, the shedding was so extreme. And so when you try to hold on to that, like that past, the enemy just wants to keep you stuck. And, well, I'm just this way because of my zodiac sign. I'm just this way because this is my human design. All these things that the enemy has literally brainwashed us into believing, and you just don't want to give up to that because he has such a chokehold on that. All right. And it's harder to become something different than it is to stay the same. And we've said this all the time, right? But what I feel like as I was coming out of my fast and I was seeing it, I was like, I'm not quite the person that I know I'm supposed to be. And I'm still not. Come on, girl. But I could just see it, that like, oh girl, you have got to cut this. And he's showing me, God was like showing me mirror in my face so hard. You have got to get rid of this if you're going to go to that next place. And it was just a decision. Declare and decide with God that you're going to do whatever it is you're going to do. And you're going to be whoever it is you're going to be. And start asking him those questions of, who do you need me to be? And start asking him for what you need. All right? Because girl, if you are not asking, you will not be given. If you're not seeking, you will not find. And if you're not knocking, the door will not be opened. All right? And again, you have a loving Father that in verse 11, how much more will your Father who is in heaven give good things to those who ask him? Like, I'm actually sweating a little bit to be like, I'm gonna sit here and go live on Instagram with a Bible. But like doing it, but literally sweating. The season that you might be in might be uncomfortable. What you are called to do might be really uncomfortable. And I have had to sit and I keep asking God, like, is this what you want from me? Is this what you need? Because in a way, it is easy for me to do this, but also is a challenge because I have a lot of internal chatter of, but I haven't read the Bible front and back. I haven't been going to church for 5 to 10 years, or I didn't grow up with religion, all these things. But in a way, I believe that's almost a superpower. And I heard somebody say that you will know if you're doing something and if you're on the right path if it brings fruit, if it's fruitful. And I think that we can think of fruitfulness as that it produces money or it produces some sort of result. And the way this creator broke it down was just like fruitfulness in that you're fulfilling ultimate purpose, which is to go forth, become a disciple, and create disciples. And when I think back, that's literally something I've been trying to do for so long, either through fitness, either through nursing, trying to foster and generate this community. But the only difference is I wasn't doing that with me intentional with him, right? He's always been there like, girl, look at you. I'm showing you can do this thing. I'm showing that you have this vulnerability. I'm showing that you can show up. And so I've really been wrestling. God, is this my ego? Is this you? But I do feel that if I'm showing up, I'm sharing his word. And I want to come. I want to help people. Like, if you're like me and it's so weird to think about praying and you want like this, you need this analytical, like, please break this down. Let me make sure that I'm doing this right. Like, I get it. I like that is so much of me. I hope I'm doing this right. I hope that I'm getting closer to fulfilling what he's called me to. It's a lot to feel. But yes, I love you guys. So if this spoke to you, I'm gonna keep posting these things. I'm gonna keep sharing. And it's not for my validation. and I think that's like the huge difference in, okay, girl, go sing in the room. Let the dogs think you're crazy and do this when your boyfriend's not home because it feels a little more. Why not? Why shouldn't we be on fire about this? And again, it's not coming here like you should believe this. It's just being open to, like, you get to come as you are. You don't have to be perfect. I love you guys.